Hello, welcome to the Fool's Journey. My name is Michael Zinn, and sitting with me is Brian Lahr and Carlene Love, known as Car. We are here for episode 4, and I think Car and I are very excited because Brian just hit us with some exciting news that we'll share with you in just a little bit. I don't want to, take his thunder, but with this show is the Fool's Journey. We are taking a journey, learning about the tarot cards. Brian is a light painter, photographer who created an amazing tarot deck. And Brian, I got to say, as I now have the deck and I'm using it and I'm seeing more of the cards, it is phenomenal. It is freaking. The artwork is awesome. Yeah, it is. It is so amazing. Hold on a second. Hold it up right here. Comes in this beautiful box with this gold, and then the cards are right here in front of me, and it's just so amazing. So if you're just tuning in and you don't know what this is about, we are exploring Brian's deck. And
that was my first Fool's Journey, actually. Making that thing,
creating the deck.
Yeah.
And we're learning about the tarot cards along the way. The first episode we talked about the Magus cards. The second, the Fool itself, and then the second episode we talked about the Magus cards. Tonight we brought Car on to talk about the Priestess, and Brian also sent me the Emperor and Empress.
Those Empress will be next week. Emperor after that. The kind of cool thing about that is, we've been talking about the elements, but that's like the Magus. That's always an air to me. The Priestess, water. You go to the Empress, that's earth. You go to the Emperor, and that's fire, and that's your first rung of all 4 elements right there, the first 4 cards. And I don't really count the Fool because the Fool's you. The Fool's on the journey. The Fool met the Magus last week. Man, got these badass projective abilities. Holy crap, yeah, man, look at this. I didn't know I could do this. And now it's like wandering around going, what do I do with it? So he runs into somebody that can help him tonight.
All happening in the quantum field. We have Nancy Reed out there, your cousin, saying, hey, I made it this week.
Wow, and good to see you.
Also, what's the word I'm looking for here? Just talking about your prowess. She's loving your art. Then we got Jill out there. What's up, Jill? Good to see you.
Chili Bean, what up, girlfriend? Always happy to see you around. I told her she gives me permagrin last week, man.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And you know what? What's so cool about that, I have to tell you, is that is her true energy. I met her in person, and that is her true energy. And you didn't even have to meet her in person, and you just zoned right in on that energy.
She's sort of, it's the cool thing about this. Like, there's not a large group of people with this right now, but everybody that's in this zone, they don't vibrate exactly the same, but it's like a choir that's in harmony, and like, oh man. And as those voices go out, it just brings more and more.
I'm feeling it as you're saying it.
Yeah,
that's just validating it, validating the words themselves as you're saying them. I'm feeling them.
Car, I don't know about you, but this was a crazy ass week with the moon. Speaking of devil, right? Oh my God, has this been a crazy moon cycle for you?
Yeah, for me it was okay though, because it was a full moon in Pisces and my rising sign is Pisces.
Well, there you go.
I felt like I'm all good. I'm right on.
I'm jealous. It kicked my ass. It really did. It brought subconscious anger forth that I really had no clue.
Yeah, you were charged up last week, and this week you're even more charged up. That's awesome.
Yeah, but I'm not pissed
creative
off.
Energy, though. I'm pretty sure you're gonna direct it into something.
I'm not pissed off, though.
No, don't.
Actually, I found the warrior that I am. Me and AI. You can't.
Oh God.
No. It's really good. I just decided to let go again.
Yeah.
Give up all the plans and look through the things that I've created that I kind of like put like, man, I have so much stuff that were just ideas and I put together pretty fleshed out, but then just didn't have funding or for whatever reason. And then a new idea happened and they just went by the wayside. But I got them all out this weekend. I was like, wow, there's some amazing shit here that you would actually need AI, and I'm going to make it my slave.
That's amazing.
There we go. Amazing.
He's the mad wizard. The mad wizard.
Hey, man. Okay, and there's the answer. What technical thing could I possibly come up with that AI couldn't do as well or shortly thereafter better? Nothing. No painting technique, no lighting technique, no photography, film, nothing. No creative technique. The only thing I have that AI can never duplicate is me.
Yeah.
Bravo,
predict this, bitch.
Bravo, my friend. Seriously, I'm so happy to hear you saying what you're saying.
You know? So you have no idea what you might be seeing in the coming weeks.
I can't even wait. That's amazing.
I'm going to bust out it's the Wizard of Oz, man.
Amazing. Amazing. You know what? And I have a feeling it's going to even work. So we also have someone out there. Dawn Nicole is saying hello. What's up, Dawn?
Hello, Dawn.
I got to say thank you so much, everybody, for being here. That's just
absolutely.
You see how much energy is in the room right now? It's partially
what? I'm sleepy. Come on.
No. I'm saying everybody's but you're sleepy. That's hysterical. So, all right. So, do you want to start by talking about the cards?
I'd love to. It's really curious. I was doing. We're doing the next person that the fool meets. On the way. And what's really cool is now that he's had all his abilities woken up, the next person he meets is the priestess that is in charge of all of the secrets, all the esoteric secrets, the layers of the veil of intuition and clairvoyance and intuition and all of those things. She's connected to the moon. And so he's going to meet her, and she's going to help him in innumerable ways to figure out what to do with those. So, last week I spent a lot of time, the Magus is the kind of archetypal male energy, and the priestess is the archetypal female energy. So I just thought it was so appropriate to have, as she sits there with her light glowing, I just thought it was so appropriate to have Car come on. She's just a really, really knowledgeable reader. And I thought she would be really appropriate to kind of flesh out the priestess. So I'll turn it over to her, and then we'll have a discussion about it at the end. I love those.
Well, awesome. I couldn't agree more. Car, before you start, I just want to show Jill's comment because this is actually kind of enjoyable, and she's saying she loves the triangulation of the geographical locations: New York, Mexico, and Florida. So she sees the triangle that our location.
Wow.
She's finding energy in that. I think that's very cool.
You're in New York, Michael? I had no idea. For some reason, I thought you were in Florida with Brian.
No, man.
I'm in New York.
We're global, baby.
bringing this energy to you from all over the world.
From all across the globe.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so you want me to bring up the image? I can.
Yeah, it's such a beautiful image, and I feel like Brian just captured it.
Whoops, sorry.
That's the only one in the deck, the only card that I completely changed.
How'd you do it?
That's really different than it's completely different. It's different than the very first, and it changed in this edition. All the other editions, it was a more gold image. But I was shooting one night, and I just had this I had been. I've had a life, the long-standing love affair with the priestess. I just think she's amazing, and and there's just a mysterious, fascination about her to me. And we were just having a long conversation. And later that evening, I shot these shots, not really intending to shoot that. And man, there it was. And it was so much better. Like that's the priestess to me. I mean, she's sitting on the throne, you know, and it's energy and like, oh my goodness.
But you see the feminine form and everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
It's really delicate and beautiful. And that's what the other one was lacking to me, because I see her as just.
Do you have the other picture that now you talk so much about it, we all want to see it.
Yeah. Hey, hang on 1 second. Let me find that back.
I want to say hello to Neil August. Neil August is out there. What's up, Neil? Thanks.
Well, there he is.
Bringing some masculine energy to the room. Thank you.
He just got his deck too.
Yeah, very cool.
That's,
hold on. Let me
right
solo you here.
Oh wow. Yeah. I get it.
And it's nice. It has a feminine, it's more kind of Egyptian, but it's more elongated and a little abstract, which is cool. But you know, the new one is just like,
this is it.
It's just so.
It took her a while to show herself to you, huh?
Well, that's one of the things about her, man. She'll let you. You know, that veil isn't one level. That veil is many, 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 many levels. And you don't get through to the next one until you do the work about the one you just got, you know? Yeah. So she made me work for it. And that's fine. It was so worth it.
Yeah.
You know?
It's super beautiful. Yeah. So what do you guys want me to say? I don't know. Just starting from scratch. Or,
talk about talk about how you came to understand the priestess and how you see that, like, you know, like the connection to the moon. There's so many things.
Right.
She's like part of, especially since
the priestess for me is one of the more complicated cards in the deck because it represents the intangible. It represents that which you can't really grasp, and she's simultaneously the doorway, the guardian, the gatekeeper, but also the revealer. She is the veil itself. And it's literally to...
Hey, hang on 1 second. Hang on 1 second, Car. For those of you that don't know what that means, the veil is the like the space right between the manifest universe and the astral unmanifest universe. And that's what's referred to as a veil. I'm sorry, I didn't mean that.
Yeah. And so for me, it goes really deep. I'm hesitating because I don't know how deep I can go with, you know.
Go.
I'm gonna
just
go
go.
As deep as you can go. You can go as deep as you can go.
Don't pre-plan it. Just feel it.
Just feel it. Okay.
She's here doing this. She's in control right now anyway. So let go.
So for her, it's like I always felt, shoot. There are three different pathways that I have to bring together. So bear with me, okay?
Go.
So one, the feminine is magnetic. The masculine is electric, right? So there's this magnetism where she attracts things to her. And when people, you know, they oh, what do you mean attract? Because we're living in this lifestyle and this modernity where you go get things, you have to do things, you know, you're electric, even if you're feminine, if you're a woman. And so she really just sits there in her power and magnetizes everything to her. And how does she magnetize? She becomes that which, because she is the eternal virgin, right? And what does a virgin mean? In antiquity, virginity had nothing to do with sexuality, right? That's why we had the Vestal virgins, the temple virgins. They were doing their sexual things, but they still remained and were called virgins, right? It's what virginity meant in an esoteric meaning was to remain untainted, to remain pure, to remain not being absorbed by what it connected to. So this is how she also connects to truth, because the truth, no matter what it mixes with, it remains untainted. It remains pure. It is the pure truth, right? Mm-hmm. So truth is incredibly important to work together with a magician. The magician represents the mind, right? And the tool of the mind to create the reality that you're in. The field of the high priestess, because this is why it's so difficult to quantify her, because she's an information field. It's the field of information. And you could see it if you want to pull it into the physical as your mind being the conscious realm. So the magician being your conscious mind, your day-to-day mind, and the high priestess kind of sort of being your subconscious mind, but that part which is connected to cosmic consciousness, right? So that portal, that depth of mind. And so these two together, right, they form the absolute archetypes of giving and receiving, of electricity, magnetism, of information and doing. And information you receive. That's why she's also the receiver. She receives information. So there's so much going into her, from the old cards, the Rider Waite, and her sitting between the pillars of Boaz and Yachin, to the veil that was represented behind her, the moon, of course, which governs our subconscious realms, our emotional realms, which she has access to, the fields of truth that she commands or opens you up to. And yeah, so give me a direction to move in here.
You know what?
I'd like to touch on that. Hang on 1 second. I'd like to touch on that a little bit. I verbalize it, I think, a little differently from an energy standpoint. She's the left. She's the receptive. It's like two parts. You hit it on the head to me. It's like, you can't have the magician and not the priestess too. They go together, because those energies are just like the flow that happens through every body. Your left side is receptive. It draws energy through, and it passes through the center and the core, and then is projective, which is the whole male thing. It's the receiving and projecting, receiving, and the constant flow of that.
Right.
That is like the two halves that work together. If you cut either one of those off, you have no. It's like it's not a flow system.
Right.
It's
and
not
that's the thing about her is she can't be controlled. Like, you can't control what you receive. You know what I mean? Like, you can be open to receiving, but that's where, how should I explain this? Ooh, okay. Feminine, masculine energy. Masculine energy goes out and gets things, right? They're focused on the external. They're like the arrow you put back and shoot it out, right?
Yeah.
So that's mainly what the world that we live in right now. But feminine energy works differently. It's the other way around, where the feminine sits in abundance and their strength is saying no, right? So closing the legs. Right? Closing the legs and saying no. That's a feminine strength. Men experience it really strongly when they're rejected by the feminine on a deep level, right? So that's where the feminine strength lies, is in saying no to the abundance that's around them. And through that, or see it like the egg and the sperm, right? The sperm swims to the egg, and the egg basically lets one sperm in, right? Everybody else is like, nope, thanks, right? So feminine, masculine. The egg doesn't go to the sperm. It just sits there and waits, right? And
it's the receptive.
It's the receptive.
Wow.
So
that's the perfect example of exactly
that. Great metaphor.
Yeah. Projective.
So that's how that receptive part of the subconscious works. And the problem is, this is why she's so patient as well, right? Because and represents patience in a sense, because you can't force it. The egg sits there and waits. And if she's lucky, her body gets her sperm, right? But if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be, right? So, but we're living in a society where we don't have that anymore, that patience. We're go-getters. We're completely in the masculine energy, completely out there. That's what I want. That's what I'm focused on. I'm going to go get it. Even when we're trying to manifest, we're going and getting things, right? And the high priestess is not about that. And this is why she's such a mystery to people, right? Because they don't feel comfortable sitting in the silence and just being patient.
Right.
And just
You're not saying men or women, you're saying society at large.
Yes, at large. Yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. I gotta say, even though I'm kind of in my head, I'm spinning a little bit, there's a part of what you're saying that I'm totally absorbing and really loving the way you're describing the different aspects of the card and what it means. And then almost, I feel like you just kind of went into certain ways you can intuit it might apply to the reading. You know what I mean?
How it applies to the reading is
I totally
so diverse.
Well, and interpretations are as numerous as there are readers.
Right.
Anyone that
Right,
actually
right.
reads for a long time develops their own skew on all of them. Every
Right,
time.
right. Well, that's what I noticed about Carr right away when she was kind of giving her readings. There's this real flow to. I know what the card is. I know what the card means, but here's how it applies to the situation, and it's kind of
Exactly.
clear. It's very clear.
Yeah.
So awesome.
So
I love that. I got to say, I'm in the middle of Jill actually gave me this book that I'm reading, which is called The Divine Design, and
awesome.
it's written by this woman Lori Ladd, who is I've been seeing her on social media, and she's like an inspirational, just wise being, right? She's just kind of, that's her modality. She's got this wisdom, she wants to share it, and this book is like a download, that she got at one point, and it talks a lot about, it's all about consciousness. So I'm having her as a guest on my show. I'm reading her the book so I can really talk to her about it. And it talks about consciousness, and it talks about consciousness in the context of different dimensions being kind of different levels of consciousness, different frequencies. It's talking a lot right now about 6D consciousness and 12D consciousness, and what the Earth, how the Earth is a 12. There was a 12. It's an experiment. I don't want to get too deep into the book, but there are some things that I was reading that I was confused about, that I feel like were explained in what you talked about, the relationship between the priestess and the magus, and almost how that relates to the quantum field and consciousness.
It's
It's like
all
that.
energy.
It's that
It's all the
relationship.
same. It's just different manifestations
Wow,
of the same.
I'm just blown away, because it's like what I'm doing, outside of this, and this, how it comes together, and it's amazing. Jill
Yeah.
saying yes. So yeah, I mean, and I'm really like 60 pages or so into the book. I'm not really far into it, because it's taking me a while. I have to read it over and over, which is funny because I'm not a big reader at all. The one thing that I did really enjoy reading in my life and and couldn't put down was Douglas Adams' The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe, and his
Don't
style of
panic.
his style of writing. His style of writing was very, very complex. You read it and you're just like, wait, what did he just say? And you read it again, and you're like, oh, I think I get it. Let me read that one more time, and it was, but with humor. And Lori's writing, I feel like it's reminding me of that, because it's pulling me in to read it a few times and really try to understand it. But the thing that's so cool about this book, and I guess this was the thing that was cool about the Douglas Adams books when I read them, is I'm feeling it. I'm reading it, and it's energetically, I'm feeling something about what I'm reading. I'm like, this is knowledge. This is something. This is tingling somewhere within me somehow. You know what I mean? So I just
So the numerology thing, like one of the ways I use that, anytime I like feel a book like that, I'm drawn to a book like that, the first thing I do is turn to the page of my life lesson number, and there's always a lesson
That's
right there.
such a great idea. Oh my God.
So how would I calculate my life lesson?
What's your birthday?
My birthday is, I don't want to give all this information away on the internet. No, I don't.
Okay, well,
text
No,
it.
that's fine. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. My birthday is 10/23/66.
10.
Jill is saying the overlap, and she's saying a must read. Yeah, this book is definitely got some energy.
66 is what you said?
10/23/66, correct.
Okay.
I wonder what your message is going to be.
I know. I'm excited.
So it's going to, you have let me just double check this. What you need to do is take all those numbers, add the 10 to the 23, and then add up all the numbers. The 1 to 9 is a 10, and the 66 is a 12, so that's 22. So you're looking at 10, 23, and 22, which I get to be 55. Is that correct?
I have 33 and 10 is 43, and 22 is 55. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go into what 55 means later. But when you pick that book up next,
Okay.
Turn to page 55. And
Okay.
you know me and my psychosis, man. I take that like I'll go to the 55th word or the 55th line, or like, you know, it's interesting, man.
Nice.
It's like, it's been a great little treasure hunt pretty much every time. If I have that feeling that you were just describing.
That's awesome.
You know, the other thing that about her and that particular book that I like kind of wanted to mention to you is,
Yep.
I've like zoned into your other show, your live stream of consciousness show. Awesome. Strongly recommend it.
Thank you.
Man, a lot of, you know, just amazing people across the spectrum of different points of view. But I've noticed that the last 3 or 4 times I've tuned in, you've had somebody on there that like, oh yeah, I went to Mount Shasta, I had an amazing experience. Oh yeah, I went to Mount Shasta and channeled some stuff. So it's like, it seems like you have this real draw to people who have had that connection. And I'd just like to toss out to you, man, you should get your butt out to Mount Shasta and go out there.
You know what? I'm
just
not
that out.
gonna argue with that. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not going to argue with that. I've
well, you know, that place is known for the whole violet flame, yeah, and that Claire Rose Prophet,
well,
and all that.
Right.
Hang on. One of the things about that place is people go there specifically to contact the Archangel Michael.
I had a really nutty experience out there. I think I told you about it, Brian. Like a real, like, it was crazy. It was wild. Yeah.
You're going to tell it to us or what? No. Too
really, much? I'll try to nutshell it, but it was, I literally saw things floating through my room, my hotel room. And I closed my eyes, I saw them. I opened my eyes, I saw them. I went under the covers, I saw them. And I couldn't sleep the entire night. Like, I couldn't sleep because of these floating heads in balls that were going through my room. And then I had the worst dream. I was running like Indiana Jones through a temple, and the stones were moving under my feet. In front of me, sliding doors. Wow. Thousands of white loincloth minions all around me, chasing me. I slipped through the doors. My ex is behind there. I thought, oh, I'm doing great. You know, I'm safe now. Right. I put my head down, took a deep breath in, come up, and there's this bald-headed priest with an axe who like chopped my head right down through the middle.
Man, I hate it when that happens.
I hate when that but I felt it. It went right through my aura. The entire day I had to wear a hat. Like, I couldn't take the sun. I was super sensitized. Like, it was
That's
real.
Crazy.
So, yeah.
So I was
Shasta is whoa. Like,
yeah, I've heard a lot of things regarding, and I don't know a lot about it, but I've heard a lot of things regarding Lemurians and ancient beings, ancient forms of humanity, you know, having connections to Mount Shasta and possibly even existing there, civilizations, you know.
Well, the thing about that place is it's got an energy frequency that lets you travel, and you can go to you can pretty much go anywhere you want really fast, man. It's kind of cool.
That's awesome. So one of our guests, and I'm going to see if I can do this, is his date of birth. He's looking for his lesson number. Neil is looking for his lesson number. So we got 12 and 3, which is going to be 15, right?
Yeah, Neil's looking for a freebie. That's okay.
That's all right. Oh, we're not going to do it? We're not going to
we're going to do it. We're going to do it.
Neil's good. Neil got the day.
I know Neil really well, man. Yeah. I'm busting on Neil right now.
I gotcha. So it's 12 and 3, which is 15, right? And then the 19, 1 and the 9 is 20, and the 6 and the 6 is 12.
22, just like you.
Yeah, same. No, I'm 55 was my number.
No, the 66, 1966 is 22. Gotcha. Makes it easier to add all that up if you just remember that.
So 15 and 22, is that what we're looking at?
That's correct.
Okay, so 15 and 22 is 37. So there's
turn to page 30, which is actually a 1. You always take the top number. Yours is a 1 actually too, but yours is a double number
because it becomes a 10, and then the 10 is a 1. 1 and a 0, right?
But when you have a double number like yours, usually leave it at that vibration, because that's usually indicates that it has evolved to a different frequency.
Oh wow, excellent! You know what? That's just all making sense to me, and I don't know why.
Because you've been waiting to hear it, man.
That's it.
You know, it's like these things instinctually. And then sometimes when you hear it, like, they're little triggers that just go, oh,
great. I love it.
And it's almost more like you're remembering it rather than learning it, you know?
Absolutely. So
I love that feeling. That's amazing.
Where does the 22 come from? Just to be
19 plus 66.
Right. 1. Right. Yeah. So it's 1 plus 9 is 10, and plus 6 and 6 is 12. It's
22.
22.
There you go. So,
And that's a double number as well. Like I
right.
can't
So
tell you
you're
how
keeping it.
many
Wow.
significant people in my life have been born in 1966. Crazy.
That's crazy. And you know what is crazy is my birthday is October 23rd, but right now, 55 years old. All right. So anyway,
Your birthday is October 23rd?
yeah,
I thought you said it was the 3rd.
10/23/66.
Okay, we're good.
Yeah, the numbers added
No,
up.
I got it. Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure. There's nothing worse because I have done numbers early on,
Incorrect.
and I get them wrong, and you've like sold somebody on this whole thing that like it
Oh,
seems
man.
to kind of make sense, and then like they'll never listen to anything. Like I really have thrashed myself about that. So
Wow.
I'm a stickler for like checking it,
Right,
checking
right.
it.
Jill got
You
a
know.
66.
Jill is 66 too. Oh my God.
Oh!
You were right. We got a powerful bunch of viewers. That's awesome. That's
So listen,
awesome.
I have one last thing to say. Let's see, what time is it now? Oh no, we're doing good.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
9:30. We're only half an hour in.
Yeah.
But this is our show. We could do whatever we
So
want.
I want to talk a little bit more about the priestess.
Let's do it.
You know, one of the really amazing things about her is that, you know, she is in charge of all the clairvoyant stuff, astral travel,
Intuition,
the moon stuff, dreams,
Mhm.
Fascinating people, mesmerizing, like anything that has to do with the dream and spirit like world. That's her domain, man. That is her dominion. She's top of the kid. She's top of the chart there. So, you know, she is a really, really good person. People don't talk about her all that often, but man, I have found an infinite source of creative inspiration from that place, because it can be really spooky and scary because you go facing some things that are not always that like pretty, but at the same time you get these like, oh, I've never seen that before, and like all of a sudden you're in this whole new vein of creativity that like you wired that way for a long time. So she is one of the major things about the priestess. You know, you go to the magus. The magus is about elemental energies and projective abilities. That's a super simplification, but that's it, right? Okay.
Right.
So she is about like the intuition, and the most important part of that is your own physical aura, your light body. And she is like where I've gotten some of my best instruction about the construction of the aura, the different layers and pieces of that, the bands of that, the things that those things do, the structures within each of those bands, how to take your astral vision and zoom into a band and be in the band and actually be looking around at what's there and trying to figure out what those things do.
Right.
Like, all of those things she guides. So I'd love tonight to throw out, you know, this is one of the classes that Car and I do together, but like learning to see your aura, like being able to see your aura is not something all that many people are born with. You know, that was something I noticed things like when I was a kid. Okay, I'm sitting in class, you know, in 3rd grade after in the afternoon, like, you know, an hour before school's out, and the teacher's up there like wiping the board and it's black, right? And I'm kind of sleepy, my eyes are a little bit closed, and you see this little white inch and a half glow out of the t-shirt. And I just thought, I didn't think that was anything weird or different. Aura. I thought I was just fuzzy. It was just fuzzy vision, you know, because I'm tired.
Right.
And it never really expanded past there for me, but all my life I saw that. And I realized later on as my my journey started and I really started studying and looking into that was kind of like the entry ticket, you know, that was like the entry fee to the club. But that, you know, since that was not something that was a natural ability. It was probably there and waiting for me to do something to wake it up. So I started doing lots of different, there's hundreds, and I'm sure Carr has a bunch to share. But I started doing exercises every night. One of the best ones and the simplest ones is to sit your butt down in front of like a full-length mirror, in a dimly lit room, not even a dimly lit room. Like if you've got a bedroom that you could just open the window so that you get enough light just to illuminate your silhouette, that would be ideal, right? In the mirror.
I got you. Okay.
And you just let go. And you try different things, like that squinting thing works for a lot of people.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I could throw my vision out of focus. Deb is out there. She's saying, "Hey, what's up, Deb?" I've only really experienced it kind of unintentionally twice that I can remember, where you described it exactly. It was like an inch and a half of this white.
That's the first band. That's the first band of your aura.
And as I'm listening to you talk, I'm looking at the image of both you, and I don't see it, Brian, on you, but I see it on Carr. I can see it. I can see it right now as I'm speaking.
I think it's the background too. My background is a little.
It's actually on the other side of you that I see it.
Oh, over here? Yeah.
Yeah.
You are particularly bright tonight, Carr.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah. Totally.
What color?
Well, right at the moment, you have kind of a gold with white flecks in it, is the way it looks to me.
Ooh, I like.
But you have a very warm, your aura is always, like your second band is always usually kind of a red or an orangish color for me. Yeah. We'll talk about that later. It's the structures, like that second band, understanding that your first band.
What are the bands?
Your first band is your interface between the upper bands and the astral world and your physical body. Actually, your light body is like the software running the hardware, which is your physical body. Like all your chakra systems, there are places that connect to that. And your first band is where energies come from outside, filter through, and then process into your physical body to be used. Your second band, and that's not, the way we describe that is the way it doesn't really ever get much bigger than that. It's very short to that. And it, for a long time, looked really white to me until I could kind of like get practiced at changing my perspective vision and go in tight. And there's a lot of little structures in there, and there's a lot of colors in there too, but it's more like an opalescent kind of scenario. It's not like super intense colors. So then as you go out to your second band, it radiates, 18 inches to 24 inches away from your body. If you're just in regular mode, that changes if there's some intense emotion. And that really relates to your emotions. So if you think about it, every single second, even when you're dreaming, you're receiving input from the outside world or your inside world. And you're reacting to each of those things emotionally, whether you consciously know you are or not. So your your energy body is always in flux and spikes going out. And if you're mad, there's a spike over here. If you're like really happy, you're glowing over here, and depending on what your like prolonged sort of mood is, you can change that. And at some point you can learn to change those colors, but that's kind of difficult to do. And so when say like you and I have a really knockout, drag out fight, and it doesn't go away, and now there's like this little black like a skin tag that's attached to your skin, and now that's in my second band. And I still think about it every day. I won't let it go, man. I won't give it up. I'm certainly thinking on it.
We all know that, don't we?
Fighting. And I'm just feeding it that negative energy. And continue doing that, focusing on that, feeding that, that grows and grows and grows. And then it starts spreading out with these little hairs that come off like brain cells, have that ganglia, the ganglia that come off the cells and just kind of go out. And as those grow and grow through your second band and into your first band, that's when all of that energy finds the weakest place in your body and zaps the shit out of it.
Oh, wow.
And then you have cancer, or you have an accident, or your leg falls off, or you have diabetes, or whatever, a heart attack.
Right.
That's why that explains why people like a 45-year-old guy who's been running every day for 20 years, eats perfectly, every medical thing says he's good, drops dead of a heart attack.
Right, right.
Because the reality is that all of those illnesses and sicknesses start in your energetic field.
Misalignment energy,
and come this way. That's why I make it a really huge point to clean that every day.
Right.
Flush that out and just give that a fresh start, so none of that goo.
Totally, yeah. And you know, that's interesting, because I think that's a good point. Like, totally, kind of a little bit of a tangent, but that's really, you know, society at large, you know, is kind of, they're unaware of that, right? So
I have no idea.
Right. And as you're more spiritual and aware of those thoughts and that and energy in general, you're probably less susceptible to those kinds of things like cancer and those. I mean, I'm not afraid of getting cancer. You know,
are susceptible to anything. Right. You have a strength about you, an energy resistance to things that are there to hurt you, and your energy is strong enough just to deflect all of that.
Right.
You don't even have to worry about like trying to push it away, or it's like once you get bright enough, it's just you're kind of invincible, and it's way easier to keep it that way than it is to like slack, let it get screwed up, and then have to go back and fix that. Man,
but people can do practices like at the same time as doing their aura practice. They can practice everything you just said. Like they can take a plant, put it right in front of a white wall, and watch its aura, and then speak to it in a certain way. Do the Masaru Emoto thing, over a week, right? Or 2 weeks or whatever. Be nice to it and have another plant where you're mean to it, and then watch the aura of the plant. Watch how the plant develops. And
it's amazing. Also, another quote unquote coincidence was I just watched this week the movie Heal. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Heal, but I mean that's exactly what we're talking about, right? The power of the mind and the energy and the soul, the power of your soul. Amazing stuff.
So last week in the description of the magus of the body, in my opinion, I gave the piece of information that regardless of whatever shows come after this is the singular most important chunk to get out of this whole thing. So I'm just going to reiterate that, and I'd love for us to do that, and then I'd like to show you what we do with what we gain, what we build up. Okay,
great.
And that is the energy charge up. If you start your day every day, like drawing energy into you and actually filling up your well, there's absolutely nothing that can take you off your center. It can try. It might push you for a second, but when you're like, whoa, you are in the center of the universe. You are at the place where that's it. As a matter of fact, hold on. One of the things before I leave I know this is a little crazy, but before I leave the priestess, one of the things that made my deck different was that there are a whole bunch of different divination systems connected to the deck. One of them is runes, which are the very first thing I learned to use. And on the priestess is a rune called down at the lowest, and that is referred to, like I learned off from this book by Ralph Blum. Here, let's see. It's so old, man, you can't even see the writing anymore. But it's a book of runes by Ralph Blum. This was like 35, 40 years ago now. And it's just kind of like a really amazing thing. So when I pulled the Priestess card earlier, when we were talking about the show, and I was like, let's pull a card, I pulled the Priestess. I'm like,
Amazing.
oh man, I love those moments. You know, those never I've lived for those.
She's like, I'm coming.
Yeah, so I'm like, wow, I should talk about the rune. We haven't really been talking about it as the extra symbols. And this is a particularly cool rune that at this moment seems somewhat apropos. So I'm going to read Rob Blum's little thing about this, okay?
This is the bottom left symbol right here. This
yes.
I'll add something to that at the end.
This is the rune of opening, received renewed clarity, dispelling the darkness that has been shrouding some part of your life. You are now free to receive and to know the joy of non-attached giving. Kano is a rune for the morning of activities, for seriousness, clear intent, and concentration, all of which are essential at the beginning of work. The protection offered by this rune is this: the more light you have, the better you can see what is trivial and outmoded in your conditioning. In relationships, there now can be a mutual opening up. You may serve as the trigger, the timekeeper, through which your awareness that the light of understanding is once again available to you both. Recognize that while on one hand you are limited and independent, on the other you exist at the perfect center, where the harmonious and beneficent forces of the universe, oh my God, merge and radiate. You are at the center. Oh, yes, indeed. Know there that there is now enough light to see that the patient on the operating table is yourself. Amazing.
Perfect reading for you, huh? Perfect reading for you.
Well, for this whole moment too.
Yeah, for this whole moment. Yeah, absolutely. And for the whole intention of this show.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so let's do an energy. Well, let's see. We won't do a super big one.
Okay.
But we're gonna do a little energy charge up, and I am going to stand up.
Oh no, I think your phone died.
Oh no. Oh.
I don't see it over here. Yeah, did you get a chance to plug it in or no?
I did.
Oh no. Yeah, you should reconnect it.
That's the energy. I did this mediumship test one time, and they told me to not do anything over Wi-Fi because the energies mess with the electromagnet.
Yeah, exactly right. And the reason that it's set up where it is it's close to the cameras. I can get it without fucking up my electronics. I did, in fact, try to fudge that, and I blew out one of my monitors last week.
Oh, no way.
It's just the way it rolls, man. That's why.
Well, you know what?
Pushing everything this way, man.
What's cool is I am connected. I turned off my Wi-Fi so that my bandwidth would be good, and I'm connected directly with Ethernet. So I know.
Oh wow!
At least
you intuitively, high priestess.
At least I'm safe. I don't know. I can't guarantee.
Oh, no one's safe, bro. That's the truth. Always ride over through that thing and blow your light bulbs up.
So for people who are just kind of watching and not really knowing what's about to happen, because I think Carr and myself know what's about to happen. Brian's about to give an amazing demonstration of what happens when you study energy for 40 years plus.
Well, they're really the act of gathering enough energy to move something in the real world is what this is all about. So that you're grabbing some energy, you're dialing it down to a frequency that has enough density in this space to actually be able to push a solid object in this reality.
Amazing.
And the thing about it is I would Carr and I give this 4-class scenario here. Hold on one second.
Yeah, I don't want to I have so much
So
to say
we, we,
about
do, we do this 4-class scenario that talks about gathering energy, which is what I'm referring to right now. That's what that whole class is about. Second class is about your aura and the structures of the aura. Third class is about grounding, cleaning your aura, shielding, and charging up in different ways. And then the fourth class is actually about doing a physical effect, which is taking this rod that is a antenna off a boombox and balancing on a piece of glass, and with your energy being able to move that around in a circle. So you would think, well, okay, yeah, cool, big deal. So you can move something around in a circle. But the truth of the matter is that I've developed so many things to do with that. And that whole things we talked about last week about the sigil spinning and all of that, everything that you're going to do from here on out is going to involve that. And this is a skill that you're going to use time and time and time, just like breathing,
Amazing.
Okay, so I won't go through our whole charge.
We should do another one. We should.
You want to do a charge up?
Yeah, we should do another course.
Yeah. Well, I think that's a no-brainer. I think that's a no-brainer. All right, so you would start just kind of getting centered. You can do a couple breathing things to get really quiet. There's one of my favorites where it's like a 4-breath count, a 4-count breath in, a rest for 2 seconds, a 4-breath count out. You do that for just a minute or so. You'll find yourself in a really different kind of space, and you can let go of everything that you're thinking about at that point. You're gathering energy. You're drawing it up into your solar plexus. Oh, you're reaching down. My favorite place to reach for energy is almost at the core of the earth.
Do you want us to do this with you? Or are we going to do these breathing exercises with you?
I'm not going to take it. We're not going to do it long enough for us to do that, but we'll review that.
Okay,
Yeah. So I love to reach down to the core, right near the center of the earth, where the magma starts to become solid. There is this band of blue electromagnetic energy down there that is so amazingly pure and powerful. And I love drawing that up through my body, through my feet, filling myself up, and just maxing myself up till I'm just about to explode. Then what do you do with that? Well, we're going to do that right now. First thing to do is to get this balanced. I can't do this with the headphone thing on, so I'm going to take this off for a second. Okay, fans off. I'm jacked up. Yeah, man, that didn't take any time. All right, we're gonna make it go really fucking fast. Ooh. Okay, you're pulling, you're grabbing on, you're pulling, pushing, pulling, latching is what that's called. Boom, boom.
That's not easy, man.
Wow, he just got it going right away. It's amazing.
Yeah. I saw it in the courses that we did, and the amount of energy that you learn to bring up, it's insane.
I love when you can see it actually torque up. Yeah, baby. Oh, go. Oh.
And he makes it look so easy, but actually, if you try it, it's like you're waving. Initially, you're waving your arms around and nothing.
He sounds like he's working out. He sounds like he's, lifting weights. It's like. Wow.
And he doesn't do just that. Like there are other stuff that we did in our that he taught us
It's
in our
just so
classes too.
amazing. It's just
Yeah,
it's
it's
really,
fantastic. Yeah.
yeah.
I could go all night.
Step one. Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm so
Okay.
And
grateful.
he's such a phenomenal teacher. Like his classes are so fun, and it's like the information sticks with you. You know, even
6-foot copper rod, perchance.
oh my god.
Oh wow, no, no, wow, really?
6-foot copper. Let me make sure it fits. Hold on.
Oh my god.
6-foot copper rod, perchance. Maybe.
So for anybody who might have been thinking that, oh, you know, it's heavier on one side, and you know, that's with the antenna, that's why it was spinning. I mean, you know, this is not moving right now, and you can see it. You can see him. You can see it. You can see him start to move it. It's amazing.
So I'm like totally connected. It's like part of me at this point. Like if you could see it, my juice is like reached out. I've got tendrils wrapped all around it.
Mm-hmm.
Man. Wow.
Nice catch. Nice catch.
Yeah, my phone died too. All right, I get it.
No, your phone's still good. I still have that shot, but that's Brian. Thank you so much for like sharing that with us. I think like
you're welcome.
You know, it's so incredible to see. I know. I mean, you shared that with me once.
There's a lot of stuff out there that's theoretical. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of stuff out there. You know, the stuff that's intuitive, that's clairvoyant. I can't touch what's in your head, man. Mm-hmm. But mm-hmm. I can see those. I can see those effects. I can be in that energy when that happens. I mean, even from across there, couldn't you feel that?
Absolutely. No, absolutely.
It's now amazing. I feel about 10 times bigger than my body.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so awesome. Addicted. I'm a juice junkie now. Oh God. Well,
so good. So you guys are watching The Fool's Journey. If you just tuned in later or whatever, we learned all about the priestess tonight. We've been learning about We've been learning about the tarot cards and how they work and what it's all about. So if you missed the first couple of episodes, you can go back on YouTube and
because we are on a path of initiation. All of these tie together in one big piece.
Yeah, this is.
I actually have a priestess video out on my channel too, like from 4 years ago. But it explains everything in detail, and Brian's card is in it too. So.
Awesome. We've got That Was Magical. We've got I Am So For This. Love the energy. Before you started, Neil said, "I hope this does not involve a key enlightening." I was like, you know what? It's even better. I'm not even going to say anything. But yeah, that is totally amazing. I'm looking. I thought I put your. There we go. I got that's where you can find Car's video.
I have the whole series from all the archetypes through everything.
She is amazing.
And interviews with Brian.
Absolutely. No, listen, if you guys sensed any energy from tonight's show, which I did, it's amazing that there was more tonight than there was even last week, because it's so great. And how much of the language is similar to this. They talk about light quotient, not light what did you call it? Light body.
Yes.
They talk about but it's so similar, and it's the concepts are so you can see them intertwine as we're learning them. It's so amazing. Quantum physics, all of that stuff, it all ties together. It's just amazing time for humanity right now. Yeah. And I hope that this is a part of it for you guys, because it is for me. You know, I mean, this is connecting me right to it, and it feels amazing. Next week, what are we going to do next week, Brian?
Next week is we will be meeting the Empress, who is the goddess of Earth, the Earth goddess, who is all about pleasure and love and family and everything that is the human love and pleasure experience. So
awesome.
that'll be a nice change of pace.
This is just I'm now. I used to be just excited for Thursdays. Now I'm excited for Mondays and Thursdays. And this week I've actually got an amazing visionary artist on Wednesday. So I'm doing one on Wednesday and Thursday. Lori Ladd. Also, guys, if you are interested in this deck, take a look at wizardofodd.com.
Yeah, please. Yeah. And anyone that wants to, get a deck through the show, man, direct message me, and I will be happy to turn you on to a code for a really significant discount.
Awesome. So if you're watching the show and you're part of it, you can participate in our drawing, in our readings, and every week doing this, we're going to grow more and more. I'm sure we're going to see more of Car, and we will see you next week. Is any last words of wisdom either one of you guys have to share?
Live long and prosper.
Perfect. Awesome. We'll see you guys next week.
See you guys next week.